I'm Matt Marvoglio, Dean of the Professional Performance Division at Berklee College of Music. Welcome to When Music Works. Today our featured artist and faculty member is Rick Peckham. Rick is the Assistant Chair of the Guitar Department. Today he's going to talk to us about modal voicing techniques. Let's go see what Rick is up to. Hey Rick, how are you doing?
Okay, Matt, how are you?
I'm pretty well. Our lesson today is about modal voicing technique. Tell us a little bit of what you think we need to know to really get the most out of the lesson.
Well, it's probably best for guitarists that have a basic knowledge of seventh chords and some basic scales like major scale and Dorian scale. If you have those two things together, you're in pretty good shape.
Is that rare for a guitarist to have those things together?
I'm hoping it's not that rare because I hope a lot of people get something out of this.
How are modal voicings different from, say, tonal voicings? Or can you just discuss a little bit about modality versus tonality?
Well, if chords move quickly, if you have a new chord every 2 beats or so, it's important to play the root, third, fifth, and seventh of the chord.
So you're worried about chord function. You're trying to determine chord function when you're doing that.
That's right. But if you have 4 or more bars in a single tonality, if all the chords can be harmonically generalized as being in one tonal center, then that's when you can go modal and get some interesting sounds that way.
So when you go modal, you actually hear a certain type of maybe major or minor that's different from, say, a tonal setting like Dorian or Phrygian or Aeolian are considered, say, the minor modes, where Lydian and Mixolydian are considered the major modes along with Ionian.
Yep, that's a great way of looking at it. Many times chords, tunes go to different tonal areas, so it doesn't always work on every type of tune, but in songs like impressions or songs that just stay in one tonality for a long period of time, you'll be able to use modal voicings.
Right. And I guess the reason why you would want to use a modal voicing is to create some kind of tension and release over a period of time, because that's what you would want to emphasize.
Yeah, if you want to have musical balance, if you want to make it sound interesting and to have motion in it rather than just playing the same chord over and over again, what great players in this style have done is they've found ways of putting interest in.
How did you come up with this system of creating these voicings? Is it just serendipity, fooling around with it, listening to different people? Or?
Well, I really I play in a lot of groups that have a horn player in it and no pianists. And I'm trying to fill up as much of the room harmonically and sound-wise as a piano player would, so that naturally led me to great pianists in contemporary styles like McCoy Tyner, Bill Evans, and this led me to try to realize these sounds on the guitar.
Can horn players actually employ this technique, or do you use this as a linear soloing technique as well?
Well, sometimes I'm trying to arpeggiate these sounds, the ones that are going to be covered here. It also could help horn players, I think, as far as finding ways to communicate to a guitarist or a pianist the type of sounds they're looking for.
How about rhythmically? Do you play modal voicings differently when you comp than you would over a period of time playing a tonal tune or whatever? Is there certain kinds of rhythmic gestures that go along with the voicing?
Yeah, I would say the rhythmic vocabulary is pretty much the same. The thing is to have an interesting flow to make it so that the soloist is kind of on a magic carpet ride, to try to make it so they want to play more and go someplace different, just keep things moving ahead. So, and the best place to get comping rhythms, I've found, other than listening to great players that already do it, is to play right from the center of the drum set. I mean, really listen to the kind of comping patterns that are coming from what's usually the left hand of the drummer. I mean, there's the ride pattern in the right hand, and frequently the pulse is outlined by 2 and 4 on the hi-hat, but the left hand is ta-ta-do, ta-ta-do, ta-ta, like this sort of thing that's going on with the left hand. These are the same types of rhythms that I try to bring out in comping.
So it's all about hooking up, depending upon what the other people in the band are doing.
That's true. The drummer is the central switchboard of the band, and you got to play right into the center of whoever's playing the drums. Or, I mean, if you're playing without drums, as I am on this tape, gotta simulate that kind of energy and drive.
Do you ever practice with play-along drums as well as just like without with the bass line or whatever?
I do. They've got some loops, especially groove loops, some things that go with that are used for beats for funk or jam band sort of things, and I just play over the top of that. Or James Brown records, I try to play over isolated drum parts and try to get that same kind of feeling and drive in my playing.
Great. Well, let's get started. Let's check this out.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah.